Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining today's Spark Chat session. I am very excited to share myself with you today. And today we are going to go through a whole lot of conversation around mental stability and resilience. I am very excited to have you today. So, we're on the fourth episode of this and it's been a lot of work, showing up for you all, having this conversation, having these conversations, answering questions. But I am very excited because Spark Chat was created for one single reason: to get real, to get raw, to get intentional, very intentional about everything that you are going to call personal stability, leadership, owning your path through some raw insights and raw questions coming from you while they get answered by me for clarity, direction, and confidence. And I am very excited for today's episode. And I hope that, as always, as usual, you are going to get as much as you can from this conversation. Right? Okay, people. Now, the first thing that I want you to do is to think about it in your head, in your heart. I need you to think about it. That, as the main character of your life here, if your mind had a weather forecast this week, what would it be? If your mind had a weather forecast, what exactly is it going to be like? What is it going to be called? Is it going to be called clear skies? Is it going to be stormy? Is it going to be cloudy? Is it going to be unpredictable? If your mind had a weather forecast, what exactly is it going to be called? That's the first question. And while you drop your answers in the chat room, while you share yourself concerning this, I want to remind you that this week we unpacked the idea that mental resilience and stability is not a luxury. It is a survival tool. It is a tool that will help you thrive. It is a tool that is needed, that is required for you to get the most out of what you call your life, of what you call your existence, of what you call the things that you want out of what you have, right? And the things that you can make out of what you have. Now, I want you to see a stable mind, not as a quiet mind. Some people, when we talked about emotional resilience and suppression, we talked about feeling, oh, if as long as everything is perfectly calm, I am good. No, you are not good, my dear. You are not good. A stable mind is not the quiet mind. It is that mind that can hold pressure and do something with it without breaking. It can bounce back from chaos, from issues, instead of bottling things up. That exactly is what a stable mind is. So, a stable mind is that mind that doesn't see bottling up as the solution, that strive for calm instead of chaos, that strive to live, to the best of their ability with a mind that is clear so it can be directed and it can do things with the right intentions, with the right thought processes, with the right values, and with the right amount of energy. Now, I want you to see this insight. These are, the three things, the three big ideas from this week. Let me share a quick story on why mental stability is not about perfection, but about predictability. You see, life is very weird. I've had my laptop for about 2 years now, and I've never had any issues with this particular laptop. I'm happy with it. We live our life as beautiful as possible. But I transitioned into a new career path from content marketing right into, cybersecurity. Now, as cybersecurity is, I require tools, I require a whole lot of things for me to make things work. And setting up just my virtual machine can take God knows what from the energy, the let me say the memory of my laptop. Now I have to set up three different tools inside a single virtual machine, and they themselves, they take up their own space, right? So what this means for me is that I've built a life in the past 2 years plus that lives on this laptop. And it also means that I've got to find a way for my current life on this new laptop, since that's what I have in the moment. And then it started to act up. I have a project to submit. You didn't do this some 2 months ago when I was still in class. You did it now that I'm writing a project. What the hell is wrong with you? And so for the past 2 weeks, I have been trying as hard as possible, patch things up, delete one thing or the other, just sketching between what needs to be done and what I feel about it in my head. And so I have been stressed. And so every time something crashes just because I am unable to complete a task, I just shut down and go to bed. I shut down and go to bed. As much as that might sound like, oh, well, you're not really doing bad, that is very bad because that's a very bad way to live the life that I desire. And inside my head, I add that idea that I don't want to do this to this laptop. But yesterday night, the same thing happened again, and I was angry. I just shut down the whole thing and I went to bed. But when I woke up this morning while doing my chores, I thought about it. Like, every single time I leave this laptop to be like this, and we keep going on like this, what happens is I am going to have to keep deleting things on impulse without proper, thought process, without thinking of other options because I need to get things done. The best option for me will be to move everything on this laptop, clear it, and start my life over. Sweet, nice, beautiful. Now, you see, I do not have to let go of the life that I used to have just to accommodate the life that I have currently. But inside my head, that was my initial thought. I was trying for everything to fit into one thing, to fit into one place. But while at it, I realized that I have so many videos I have made, talks, and all of that that I have never shared. Why not upload them onto the platform I am meant to keep them and start to share them? That means that my content will no longer sit inside my laptop. They are going to be there in the world and anybody can benefit from it. So it is predictable that when I share these things, I am able to gain new traction, meet new people, help more people, share with more people. But it is perfection to think that I have to keep everything on my laptop and whatever it is that was going on in my head at the moment. You see, for me to thrive, I am not losing these documents that I have on my laptop. All of my wedding pictures from pre-wedding shoots and all of that, they are still on this laptop. But I have an email address, a Google Drive that is dedicated to my family. That's let me say my husband and I, we have this email address that is dedicated to us. aside our personal email addresses. It has a drive space. I could upload all our wedding pictures, pre-wedding and everything there, and we can access it at any point in time. And so I did that. So over 1,000 plus pictures has been moved to my drive, and I have deleted that space. That means I did not lose that. It is predictable that I can at any point find my pictures. Do not lose it out of carelessness. Nobody can just get into my laptop and they delete something and everything goes off. So I want you to put it at the back of your mind that many times what you need is not the perfection that comes with having everything the way you want it. Sometimes it is the predictability that comes with things actually going out of where you want it to be. So I can predict that all I need to share with any family in the world that wants to see pictures will be a Google Drive link, not JPEG pictures that will take more space on my laptop or on my phone. So when you think about the predictability that comes with some things leaving your mental space, because I kept on thinking every single day, what am I going to do? How am I going to complete this project? What am I going to do? Am I going? I kept on doing that every single day, and it was messing with me big time. Don't hold on to things just because you want to hold on to them. What exactly can you do that make your life more predictable, that make your life easier to live with? Now, there's another thing I'd like to introduce you to, yeah? And this is called, the bounce back energy, even when you are triggered. So, this bounce back energy, like I call it, is, when you have something internally that is foiling you to get up, to reset, and keep going, even after things aren't going your way. I really wanted to go up on that project and just tell my people at my cybersecurity school that I know they do again. I was like, if my camera was, I was this close, very close, like the pinch of salt close to actually telling them, you know what, probably I'm just gonna graduate with the next set. I don't have the strength. Maybe by then I would have had money to buy a MacBook Pro or something. I don't care, but right now I can't do this. But the truth is, I chose this life. I chose this new path. Why exactly am I going to give up because something wasn't working? And so every time it crashes, I reinstall the virtual machine and I start again. Every time it crashes, I reinstall and I start again. But taking the step that I took today, I have been uploading everything to my husband's hard drive so I can move some things that I can't upload later or some files that I need for my laptop when I actually like take it off. You see, you need to keep going after every setback, after every spiral, after every stretch of emotional fatigue. It's not going to be easy at all. It's not going to be easy. No matter how you try to look at it, it's not going to be easy. But this is not about being positive all the time. It's just about not pretending to be okay. Mental stability is you being able to bounce back and stop pretending that it is okay because it is not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. It is not okay. Right. Another thing is that your bounce back energy is all about recovering even when your world feels heavy. It's about, reframing your perspective instead of staying stuck in that loop. I was almost stuck in the loop of this thing is crashing and I am doing it again. It's crashing, I am doing it. It just doesn't make any sense. But once you free yourself, you start again, you start over, you are good to go. And then recommitting to your values, your priorities, even when you don't feel motivated. Like I always say to people, you don't need motivation, you just need discipline. You do not need motivation, you need discipline. And discipline is more profitable than motivation. Motivation is the fire burning, boom, 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 and it's gone. Discipline is you, that drop of water that fills the bucket. It's very important. So, even when you feel tired or triggered, you can still bounce back by recovering from that heaviness, reframing your perspective and recommitting to the things that matters when you think about what you're doing at the moment. Now, I want to tell you that you see, mental stability is very, very key because it is very tied to your finance, to your emotions, to your socials, to your routines, every single thing. Because the moment you are not in the right frame of mind, every other thing can collapse. They are not going to be centered and they are going to collapse. You do not want to be in that place. Let me explain to you how it does that to your finance. Let's say, for instance, you are stressed, you are tired, there is just that thing weighing on your mind, and probably a client is talking to you and you are absent minded. You're not there, you're not in the moment, and so you're not able to grasp the tone, the message, and every other thing in that conversation. Most likely, you lose the deal. And that means that that money that is supposed to come into to you is not coming. When we talk about your socials, imagine probably it's your friend, they're in that space, they are talking to you, and they're not just there, they're just giving you this lukewarm energy. You are like, what's wrong with this one? I'm spending my time, my energy, and everything talking to you, and you're acting like this. Please, I'm not interested. And then you shut down. You just don't want to continue that conversation. You see, it has affected how you guys are meant to interact or relate, and things might actually go south from there. Also, think about your routines. When some things weigh, you know, heavily on your mind, you lack the energy to want to do anything. So, if you are meant to go to the gym, you can just say, see, maybe next time I'll just, and that's it. And that's how it goes. You just go, pew, right? So, you want to understand that every time you let something weigh on your mind for too long, you are actually depriving yourself of something else. You are causing something else not to be centered in your life. You are giving the room for something to collapse in your life. And we do not want that at all. Now, the next thing will be for you to share with me in the chat room that what's that one thought or belief you've had on repeat this week that you now realize is draining you? For me, it is that thought that I did not want to lose the things on my laptop. I did not want to go through the stress of, having to recover anything, even though I know that if I should wipe them at that point, I wouldn't have been able to recover them. But I have been able to take measures that makes it easy for me to predictably find any of the things that I have in the whole wild world. So tell me what that thing is in the comment that you've been thinking about that has been draining you. It doesn't have to be personal. It could be something that you can share that others can learn from. Please let me know in the chat room. Are we still together? Are we still together? Are we still together? Okay, while we wait for your chat, while we wait for your comment, while we wait for all of that, these are some questions that I think that you might have, and I would love to answer. There are some questions that I have to about mental stability at the point, but now I think I am getting the hang of this whole thing and making more out of my life. Yeah. So the first question says, "What is the real difference between mental strength and mental stability?" You see, mental strength is your performance under pressure. When people say I can work under pressure. That's mental strength. I can work under pressure is mental strength. But stability is being steady even when there is no crisis. You know, there are some of us that we only get work done when we are close to the deadline. But when you are chasing stability or you are doing it, you are building a life for stability, even when there is no crisis, even when there is crisis, you are stable, you are strong, you are grounded, right? Another question is, how do I stay mentally stable when my environment is unpredictable or toxic? This question is very important. Very important. You see, because a number of us, we we are in Africa, we are in Nigeria, and people have a lot of ideas when it comes to environment, especially. And we don't get to talk so much about toxic environment or unpredictable environment. When I used to live in Kwara, when I was looking for an apartment, I actually looked for an apartment that is going to. I looked for this area that is calm. That I thought was calm. I thought because we were just two in my compound, I was going to have a life of bliss. It was almost one of my worst nightmares in the world. I think I have a video where I was talking about the fact that I wanted to record, but I was unable to record because my neighbor and our son and all, they were everywhere. You see, some things, I think even at the point it got to a point that we actually had a fight. It wasn't like fight with blows, throwing blows and all. But like I told her that it wasn't convenient. I screamed at the child, and that was because I have been suppressing that thing that has been affecting me. I want to work, but this boy is screaming, is shouting. If his mom does not give him what he wants, he's going to scream. And then the mother too will not be screaming to. Oh my God. It was a total nightmare. But this is it. Set boundaries. It is very important. I mean, I said school is exhausting. I actually agree. I agree that, yeah, sometimes school can be exhausting. It can be crazy. I totally agree with you. So, on this question, you need to set your boundaries, have your routines, be able to detach. You see, this detachment, sometimes some things can be happening, and I'm just going to act as if it's not happening to me. Probably in the moment, I might not do that for long, but I just want to leave that space. It's not happening to me. That's like the thing in my head. It's not happening to me. This thing is not happening to me right now. Have a safe outlet. So sometimes it's some things that you might not be able to detach from. Who can you call to talk to? Who can you share with? Who can you reach out to? Just a safe outlet. Because there are some situations that you cannot change yet. I used to live in a place when I moved to Lagos that was like a. Please, can you drop a comment? I'm getting a message that you cannot comment on the live. What's happening? Please, can somebody drop a comment for me? Please. Please, if you are here, kindly drop a comment for me if you can hear this. So, as I was saying, you need to put it at the back of your mind that there's some things that you can't change in the moment. And so sometimes I'll go to my friend's place, you know, sometimes I only record in the middle of the night. Sometimes I wake up very early to record. So these are some routines. And other days, just for me to be in a great mental space and not just bust out at the point. I wake up in the morning, take my shower after my prayers and all of that. I start my day with a very hot cup of tea before work. And I just pray that they've left by the time I get to start my own day. So it depends on the situation, but you can set your boundaries. You can, have your routines. You can detach from the situation, have your own safe outlets, especially when you are unable to actually change the situation yet. Right. Now, the third question says, how do I deal with my racing thoughts or constant overwhelm without shutting down? I think that I love it. You are going to need to slow your body and retrain your focus. There's a time that I couldn't do one thing for a very long time. Like when I am doing this already, I am doing that again. I am already everywhere. But now, so at that point, if I am on my laptop, you can see like 12, you can see so many tabs. I'm just opening this, opening this, opening this. But now, if I am working on Spark Chat Slide, the only thing you're going to see on my tab will be Spark Chat Slide, the document that has the content that I have put together, on the document that has the content and Canva. That's what you're going to see. So you need to learn to retrain or to train your focus. And then you can also, what you can also do is to make sure that you give yourself that ability to, how do I say it? That ability to breathe in and breathe out. So when I say breathe in and breathe out, what you do is you are going to use this method to calm your anxiety. You're going to use it to reduce how overwhelmed you feel, and it's going to take you back into the present. So, what you do is, what are the five things you can see? So, for me right now, I can see my laptop screen. I can see the bag that has all of my Ashwebi ladies' gifts, that those that I did not see, that did not come to the wedding. I can see a mirror. I can see the door. I can see my curtain. I can see some things in my workspace. Now, what are the four things I can feel? I can feel the way I am, salivating as I am talking. I can feel, how my heart, my breathing is. You just think of the things that you can feel. What are the three things that you can hear? I can hear some sound from the other compound, nothing else. What are the two things I can smell? Just my perfume, nothing else. And what is that one thing you can taste? Just the taste of my saliva, if that has a taste. But this is what it does for you. It slows your breathing. It brings your brain back to where you are in the moment. It redirects your attention from all of the things that are not working to the things that are working. And it tells your brain that you're safe. Because sometimes when the brain is designed to protect us, right? And so because the brain feels as if it's under attack or something, it can be a very crazy thing. So when you want to do this is what you do. You take a deep breath and say, these are the five things I can see. So I can see my action aid journal. I can see my pen. I can see my phone. I can see my laptop. I can see you just list the things that you can see. The four things that you can feel. So you now focus on your sensation. You can touch your clothes. You can touch your skin. You can touch your face. You can just try to touch something. You can touch your chair. You can touch anything around you. So also you can put your leg on the floor so that you can feel your feet on the cold tiles or on the cold floor, whatever it is. The things that you can hear, So, like I said, I can hear some kids beating something in the other compound. Probably a car is passing. Just think of those things like that. And so, by the time you're done doing this, your heart rate slows down, your mind feels clearer, and your body remembers that you are here, you are safe, and you can handle whatever it is that is going on. So I want you to drop it in the comments that I am here, I am safe, and I can handle this. Please drop in the comments, I am here, I am safe, and I can handle this. I am here, I am safe, I can handle this. I am here, I am safe, I can handle this. I want you to share that with me. I am here, I am safe, and I can handle this. I am here, I am safe, and I can handle this. I am here, I am safe, I can handle this. It is very key and very important. Okay, the fourth question that we have, aside that, says, is it normal to feel emotionally stable but mentally tired all the time? And I dare to say that yes, you can be emotionally stable, you can be mentally stable, emotionally stable and mentally tired. Sorry. You can be mentally stable and emotionally tired. Why am I mixing this up? You can be emotionally stable and mentally tired because your emotional regulation and your cognitive load, that's your mental load, they are two different things. Again, your emotional regulation and your cognitive load, your mental load, they are two different things, but they are still deeply connected. So when you feel like this, you need to sleep, take a break, or just intentionally, stay in your mental state and silence that matter. Sleep, take a break, and intentionally, you know, create mental silence for yourself. There's a time that I felt like I can never sit and something is not going on in my head. It's as if there are like three people actually having a conversation about my day, about my life, about something that has happened inside my head. And that was when I started to write. And that was when I had so many random thoughts and so many random lessons. So whenever it is like that, I just start to pen down whatever it is that I am picking from that conversation in my head. But it can still be stressful. So what you want to do is to either sleep, take a break, and intentionally silence that thing in your mental space. Now, finally, where do I start when I feel like I have lost control of my mind and my thoughts? Losing control of your mind and your thoughts does not mean you are mad. Please keep that in mind. Losing control of your mind and your thoughts does not mean you are bad. It just means some other things are able to influence what you think, how your mind feels, which in the end translates into your results, your actions, your thought processes. Yeah. So create your mental recovery ritual. You can use the, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, and you can also use the bounce back method. Combine them together to make your mental recovery ritual so that you can restore your own sense of safety, presence, and identity. You see, when you feel like you're not in control of your mind or your thoughts, anything going on in the world can get you twisted, can get you knotted. And we do not want that. What we want is to live a life where we are able to make our own decisions. So you need to bring yourself back to that safety, presence, and identity. I'm creating something. It's a card. It's a set of cards, and it's more like a tarot card. But then the front is a prompt, more like a reminder, more like an affirmation, or I don't know what word to use for it. But what I am saying is that prompt, each of them, it's for different areas of your life. So I have for when you are anxious, when you are tired, so many things. And each of them, when you turn the back of the back of the card tells you all that you need to say. So, for instance, if you are feeling anxious, what you need to say, how you need to breathe, what you need to think about. This is what the card is going to do for you. Now, again, when you feel like you've lost control of your thoughts and your mind, you need to create your own mental recovery ritual. And I am going to advise that you use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method and the bounce back method, so that you put them together, you practice them, and you're able to get back your own sense of safety, your sense of presence, and your sense of identity. It is very key and very important. Now it's your turn to ask your questions. What exactly are those questions that you have about mental stability? What are those questions that you have? Share with me in the comment. Share with me in the comment so I can answer your questions. But while we are doing that, while we are, thinking about those questions, let's try this together. I want you to place your hand on your chest, whether your right or your left hand, but place it on your chest and breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly and say this loudly or silently. My mind deserves peace, not pressure. I choose stability over survival mode. My mind deserves peace and not pressure. I choose stability over survival mode. You can also drop that in the comment. You can also drop that in the comment. My mind deserves peace and not pressure. Okay, and when you are done with that, I need you to think about it. Dear main character, if your mind is a garden, what have you been watering? Are you watering chaos or clarity? Is it resentment or resilience that you have been watering? Because as we go into the new week, I want to challenge you to plant your thoughts on purpose, to plant your thoughts on stability and resilience and clarity, to plant the thoughts that gives you direction, to plant the thoughts that gives you presence, safety, and identity as the core of your person. This is key. This is very important. Now, let's talk in the chat room. What is that one thought you are ready to retire and the one thought you're ready to repeat daily this week? For me, I am going to stop holding on to whatever it is that I have, and I'm just going to find a way to create predictability. I don't want to be perfect. I just want to create things that are predictable. I want to make my success predictable. I want to make my next move. As much as people say, "Oh, don't let them know your next move." I want to have predictability inside my mental space. I want people to be able to say, oh, in this situation, she's going to react like this or she's going to respond like this, so that it gives me credibility in the heart of people, so that it gives me credibility as I go through the rest of my life, so that I can help others unlearn what it means to have personal stability. So, what about you? What thoughts are you going to repeat daily, and which one are you going to retire from this week? Now, I want you to finish this sentence. What does your mind feel like? My mind feels like. What does your mind feel like? What does your mind feel like? I'm waiting. What does your mind feel like? All right. I have seen a question. And this question says, how do I ensure that I don't suppress my emotions while detaching from the situation? First thing is be clear on what the situation is. Sometimes because we don't have clarity might be the reason we have All right. Sorry for the break in transmission. So, as I said, first, sometimes when we are not clear or we don't want to be clear, it's very easy to just shut down or detach. What exactly are you dealing with? Sometimes some things require detachment so that you can see from the outside. You can see from the other end of the spectrum and not just because you are in the situation. So many times when you're in the situation, it can be hard for you to, grasp what you need in that reality. So, so that you don't suppress yourself while detaching, first thing is be clear on what the situation is. Does it need detachment, or it needs boundary, or it needs for you to talk to somebody? Because sometimes detaching is not just the only thing. And in the process of trying to find clarity of what that situation need, you're not going to be able to suppress it because you're going to have to be present with it, ruminate about it, check through it, and all of that. So find clarity on that situation before choosing what to do, before choosing detachment, safe outlets, boundaries, routines. What exactly is that situation? It's going to make it easy for you to determine what you need to do. And in the place of that clarity, you don't get to suppress your emotion. So make sure that you know, oh, this is the situation of things and this is what I need to do. Because suppression is like sometimes a first point of contact or first point of reaction for many situations. So it is very important. I hope that answers your question. Your mind feels like a maze. I mean, endless. Endless streams of what do I do, where do I start, how does it work, and all of that. I totally get it. That can be the case. It can be that crazy with life, but you are going to make life work for you. So do not get too caught up in the feeling of, trying to sort some things. Sometimes you can enjoy that maze, learn from it, and get ready to move. So, do we have any other question? Do we have any other question? And while you try not to suppress your emotions, look at your self talk. Look at your first thought, most likely in the morning or when something happens. Just audit your mental habit. Audit your mental habit. It's going to make it easy for you not to suppress your emotions. All right. In the absence of any other questions and contribution, I want to say thank you to everybody who took the time to join today's Spark Chat session. I am very excited and I know that there is more to come. And while there is more to come, we are going to make more out of every situation. So thank you so much for joining in. And do not forget that your mental stability is not a luxury. It's not a luxury. It's a tool for you to survive and thrive the world that we're in. Do enjoy the rest of your day. And I remain Balkis Samsat. Thank you and see you next week.